Yes, my name is Luke Blazejewski and I am the campaign coordinator for Let's Do It UK, which is a nationwide anti-litter movement. The biggest concern for me is the effect it has on our biodiversity, and because we have such a huge amount of plants and animal species in urban environments, but we also have a lot of throwaway culture which come from urban environments. You know, the two things are interlinked, and making sure that people litter less inevitably has less of an impact on the ecosystems of the species that live here with us. There are two kinds of ecosystems we find in the urban environment. One is green space and the other one is blue space. Now, the way that they're affected directly is usually by the influence of plastic. Plastic often gets found into waterways and to blue streams that go through cities through canals or rivers, and this ultimately not only pollutes the water through the plastic ultimately photodegrading, which gets into the fish, gets into the birds that feed on the fish, but then there are also recent studies which show that urban gulls in cities around the world are consuming more plastic than they've ever consumed before. There were a couple of studies in America which identified some of the common urban city gulls that they have there, and almost 90–95% of them had plastic in their digestive systems. So we're finding that the issue of plastic and disposable waste is coming round, and it's coming back full circle back onto us. I think in cities it's predominantly food related. Without having to name names, we have disposable plastic bottles and soft drinks manufacturers, fast food distributors all over cities, which, you know, are incredibly popular outlets for food. And because we live in a disposable throwaway culture, we shouldn't have to, but that's come to the forefront of the psychology around waste lately. Everything is sort of made to be thrown away, that a lot of it doesn't even make it to the bin. And so I think a lot of food waste, or let's say food packaging waste, is a huge problem in cities. I feel tired about litter. I think it no longer needs to be a product of the kind of society we live in. We have an incredibly privileged recycling infrastructure in this country, and we have the materials and the energy to push a zero waste culture and a zero waste economy. It's just whether or not we're going to choose to make that decision.
And how can we make that decision? What needs to happen for us as a society to make that decision?
I think the biggest mechanisms that needs to come in place are top-down approaches. I hate to say it, but these people that are at the top of these huge manufacturing companies that are responsible for plastic and plastic bags and all these different chemicals that are going into the production of these materials need to make a change. And I guess the biggest way that these changes can come about is through social and cultural challenge, bringing people together and saying, you know, we're open-minded and we're very much willing to take a step forward in a new direction.
Anything else you'd like to say?
The Let's Do It UK cleanup is happening around the UK on the 13th of September. You can visit our website, letsdoituk.net, and sign up and create a cleanup and get involved.